Hello. Today I've got a different little bit. I like words. Today I have a little bit different kind of video for you. I'm going to leave that in because I'm not perfect and I'm not going to edit out mistakes. I firmly believe that no woman should ever be attacked or abused, and that just because someone is small or disabled or looks weak, whether they are or not, they should not have to worry about somebody attacking them. And in a lot of areas, carrying just about anything for self-defense is against the law. But there's one thing that can be carried in 99% of the places. Check with your local laws, and that is a Kubaton. When I was in the military, we trained a lot in different hand-to-hand combat situations, hand-to-hand self-defense, and the Kubaton was something we focused a lot of time on because it is what is known as a force multiplier. A small, weak person can hurt a big, strong person by properly applying a Kubaton. First thing I want to do is talk about the different kinds that exist, and then I'm going to move a little bit, and Jack is going to help me show you the basic techniques that will. I'm not going to turn you into Chuck Norris. You're not going to go out and take down drug cartels with a little metal stick. But if someone grabs your arm, if someone tries to accost you, if someone tries to wrap their arms around you, you will be able to cause them enough discomfort that they will let go and then make noise and run away. Your best thing you can do is to make them let go, make noise, and run away. And a Kubaton is something that can help with that. Now, there's a lot of ambiguity in what is called a Kubaton. This is not a Kubaton at all. This is a marlin spike. This is specifically designed to untie rope. I've seen people use these as Kubatons. This one even has, if you unscrew it, lacing fids of 3 different sizes for tying rope. It's very handy with paracord. But the marlin spike goes back hundreds of years. It was designed for sailors to be able to undo wet rope on boats. But they're really good for loosening knots up. This is not a Kubaton. In a lot of places, this would get you in a lot of trouble if you used it as a weapon. That being said, if this is all you had on you and somebody attacked you, I'm not going to say let them do anything. Now, these were both sold to me as Kubatons, and in the picture when I bought them, I bought these off of Amazon. They're basically the same here. They had a blunt end, and I thought I was buying Kubatons. These are lethal weapons. Again, something like this is going to get you in trouble, not because you defended yourself, but you hit somebody in the wrong place with something that pointy, you're going to do real damage. And then you got to explain why you did the damage. This is a screwdriver set. Now, my hand is too big for this, but somebody with smaller hands, you could carry this, and if somebody says, "What are you carrying?" It's a screwdriver set. And you unscrew the end of it, kind of like the fids. It's got screwdriver tips in it. Can you see those on that, Jack? Is it better if I do it that way?
Give it a half a second. Yeah, I can see them now.
Okay.
Zoom back out.
My hands are way too big to pull this one off, but I have actually told people. I used to teach a self-defense class at the gymnasium I was a member of when I was younger and healthier, and I have actually told women that these are a good one to carry because they have an eyeglass size screwdriver in it. Say, "Oh, well, those are for fixing my sunglasses." But this can be used in the same way a full-size Kubaton can if you've got little bitty hands. Yeah, I can't use it. Same idea. If you've got small hands. This is a ferro rod. There's no law against carrying a ferro rod. Even if where you live you can't carry a Kubaton. If you've got small enough hands, this would work. It's not going to work with my hands. I got big hands. I wear an extra large leather glove, and I have to put some shoe stretch in them and stretch the knuckles into them so that I can use them comfortably. But this is a ferro rod. It can work like a Kubaton. Now, when you get into tactical pens are sold as a self-defense tool, and all a tactical pen is a Kubaton that can also write. You need to be very careful what kind you get. First, I don't even have one here because I refuse to own them. Some of them, tactical pens designed to be self-defense tools, are clicky pens. And as we'll talk about when we go over to techniques, you want your thumb on top. If that's a clicky pen, you're going pens open, pen close, pen open, pen close every time you try to hit somebody with it. Now this one is a rotating pen. It's still a little bit narrow. I don't care for it very much. It actually came in as a free part of something else I bought. This one was a gift to me, and this one has two problems. One, this is a, you can use it on your phone stylus thing, which makes it a soft point, which takes away some of the impact. And two, and more importantly, in most states, oops, that's the, I guess if you take that part off, I never even tried that before. If you take that part off, there's an actual good weapon point on there, but then you just need to carry it without that. Just leave that at home, because generally speaking, when people are attacking you, you can't say, hey, would you mind waiting for 5 minutes? Oh, that's weird. I never tried to take that apart like that before. You know, they won't sit and wait for you to take it apart to defend yourself. So if you want to just drop that off, that would be okay. But the other problem with this, why I can't carry it, is because in most places, especially where I live, anything that does not look like a knife but has a knife is illegal. So this to carry on the street, now I had this in the bottom of a bag coming over here, but this to carry on the street is illegal because it's got a little 80% of an inch knife, or 8/10 of an inch knife on there, but that makes it illegal. So make sure that you are cautious on what you are getting. Staying with the tactical pens, I have carried this one for 4 years. Now this one has a couple of benefits. One, it's got a ferro rod in it. I've never used that ferro rod because I always carry better ferro rods with me, but it does have an emergency backup ferro rod in it. It's right there. Hey, cute. It's a baby ferro rod. It wants to grow up and be a light my fire one day. Another benefit of this one is, well, one, it writes really well. It's got a whistle. It's got a whistle built into the cap. And that's loud.
I want to put in the description loud whistle when you say
I probably
whistle.
shouldn't have done that, huh? I'm sorry. But the other thing is it's got a nice flat top and just enough divot there to be very useful. The last one that I have here, and this is actually, these are my wife's keys. And she's going to be mad if she watches this video because she's been looking for her keys and she couldn't find them, and I was kind of giggling because I had them.
But she loses them all the time anyway.
True. But you can see this one's got some wear on it. This is the Kubaton that I bought for my wife. Now you can get these on Amazon in a 2-pack for like $7. I gave one to my wife and one to my daughter-in-law. And then I gave each of them the same technique instruction I'm about to give you. Putting them on your keys is a great way to do it because one, well, it's a key fob. So what's on there? That's a key fob. I also put this Olight 1R2 EOS i1 R2 EOS that is a USB rechargeable light for her to have. You turn it on one, you get a little bit of light. You turn a little bit further, you get more light. Turn it off, the light goes off. Crank it far enough, and there's a USB port right there. So, but having this on her keys, she can just have her keys in her hand when she walks out the front door and goes to the van. Gets out of the van, goes into the store. Goes out of the store into the van, goes out of the van into the house. Just have your keys in your hands all the time. The way you hold these, now with a key ring on there, you usually wind up putting your thumb through the keyhole, or key ring, just because it's in the way. But what you want to do is you want to have it right along your hand, roll your fingers over it, and you want your thumb on that flat top, which is why part of why I don't like clickies is that, and then also opening and closing the pen. And I don't like anything that's got any bumps or sharp on there, because you want to be able to put your thumb on there. Otherwise, when you hit something, it's just going to push it out. You're losing your impact. You put your thumb on that and you hit it, and you don't lose your impact. So all this is simple machined aluminum stick, and properly applied will give you the time and the loosening of grasp to get away from an attacker. So I've rambled on about these enough. We're going to pause the video and move to the little bit more room, and then we're going to show you using my pen so I don't flop our keys around too much. A few techniques that will make it so that you can get away. I said, I'm not trying to turn you into Chuck Norris. I'm not trying to say you're going to kick everybody's butt now because you watched my video. If you want to do more self-defense than this, take a self-defense class. I would never ever tell someone it's a bad idea to learn self-defense. But for the basics, for safety, this will get you started.
Side note, my friend who can barely lift 25 pounds unaided was able to hit me hard enough that it hurt without trying to hit hard.
These are a force multiplier. It takes very little force to do a big impact. Pause it. Okay. Through the magic of television, we've moved and we're back, and you hardly noticed the difference. Jack, come here. Now we're going to start off with me sitting down because I only have about 5 minutes of stand-up in me today. I'm having a rough day. As I was saying, this is a force multiplier. This is not something you're going to swing around and beat them up with. Where this is good, come over on this side. Where this is good is when someone is trying to be aggressive with you and you want to just get away. One of the big ones, and now I ride around town in this chair a lot, and people who don't know me see me sitting in a chair, kind of chubby, and I look like a rolling victim. They don't know me. I have actually used my Kubaton multiple times in this town to dissuade someone who grabbed me in a way that I didn't want them to. One of the basics is people will grab your arm. So if someone grabs your arm, we're going to start off with, back up for 1 second, this is not, you did wrong, I did wrong. Once again, I'm going to leave it in because I'm not perfect. There are 3 basic things that you want to do with a Kubaton. One of them is direct pressure. One of them is rotating pressure. And the third one is ice picking. Now, you will find people that will tell you that you can do all kinds of other things with them, and they're right. If you spend years practicing and training and learning, you can do more things with them. But for the basic survival, someone is trying to steal your money or someone is trying to hurt you, there are 3 basic techniques: are direct pressure, rotating pressure, and ice picking. We're going to start with direct pressure. Okay, now grab my arm. He just put the most vulnerable parts of his body to this tool right out there for me to go on. Direct pressure. Put that right next to a knuckle and just start pushing in. Now you don't have to push hard. Well, you do have to push hard. You don't have to push hard before they start feeling it, but if you push as hard as you can, they will definitely let go. Right there, I am only putting less pressure on that than I would trying to put a screw into a piece of wood. And it's probably already becoming uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable, yes.
Yes.
Painful, no.
Like I said, I'm using minimal pressure. Another direct pressure point is the side of his wrist. Are we noticing a theme here? We're looking at joints and bones. Dead center in the back of his hand. Bones, nerves, and tendons. The knuckle on his first finger. These are, if he's grabbing me from the front, so that his thumb is in direct place, right at the base of his thumb, or right into the knuckle of his thumb where the webbing is. All of these direct pressure points will cause his hand to release and will cause him to be mad. But you don't care at that point because he's already doing stuff you don't want him to do. If they grab you, like put your arm around like you're trying to, or no. If they grab you like this, you have the same things you can do here.
Kind of difficult on a chair.
But if you're standing up, which I'm not at the moment, and they grab you from the front, you can do that same direct pressure into their collarbone. Come on the screen. I don't see you on screen. There we go. You got the collarbone right here. You got where the shoulder meets the arm, and then right here at the base of his neck. These are all places he does not want that to be pushed into. Rotating pressure is almost exactly the same thing, but it actually hurts a lot more. If direct pressure doesn't work, then you use rotating. Here, come grab my arm again. With rotating pressure, I'm going to put this and I'm going to push it into his knuckle like I did before. That's not making him let go of it. I start twisting it and grinding it.
Yeah, that's uncomfortable.
Now, I'm barely touching him. I am barely touching him, and that's uncomfortable.
Ugh. Feels like a pinched nerve right between my
It
fingers.
is a pinched nerve, because what you're doing is you've got nerves and tendons meeting right there, and you are shoving them into the bones with a rotating pressure. On the wrist, if you're trying to do it on the wrist, you put it in there, and it's not helping. You rotate it, and then you just start grinding back and forth.
Yeah.
Now, I was barely putting any pressure. Imagine if I was pushing as hard as I could. That would have been bad for
Yeah.
you. For you, not
Yeah.
for me. The third one is ice picking. Anyone who has ever had a big block of ice and they were trying to get chips off of it knows what ice picking is. Again, thumb on there to make sure that it stays in place. Instead of direct pressure, you're just going to
Rapidly jab at it.
chip that ice away. I guarantee you the third or 15th time you hit his hand with that, he will change his mind about grabbing your arm. Those are pretty much the techniques that work good sitting down. And so, pause the video. I'm going to move my chair
And stand up.
and stand up. Okay. Using those same basic techniques, I think you're cutting our heads off. Using those same basic techniques, if they grab you from the front, grab me.
Oh.
If they grab you from the front, you're going to use those into his shoulder. You're going to use those into his collarbone. If he really doesn't let go, you're going to use it into his cheekbone. You hit right where the joint of the jaw is, that hurts. Still hasn't let go, right up into his nose.
Good. That'd be uncomfortable if a fly landed there.
No kidding. From behind. Oh! Be big. It's harder to kidnap you. From behind. I pulled it out. I'm going to go into his hand, or I'm going to shift my weight and bring it down, and I'm going to aim right above his knee. Okay? Those are about the only two places you can really get if they got their arms wrapped around you. If you're going for the knee, you want to turn your shoulders and bend as you're bringing it down, and you want to aim for just above his knee. I'm going to sit down. That's how much stand-up I had.
I think that's the first time you've stood in a video.
I think that is the first time I've stood in a video. So, these are really, really basic techniques. I would recommend highly that anyone, male or female, that spends a lot of time outside at night, that goes places where there may be some people that are a little shady, have something like this on their person. Now this pen, like I said, I've been carrying this for a little over 4 years. I've used it as an ink pen enough that I've put like 3 cartridges in it. And no one ever wonders why I've got an ink pen in my shirt pocket. For ladies, this is going to get me in trouble. There is a tendency for ladies to have more things on their keys than men. In general public. In the prepping community, not so much, because I've seen guys with keys that is like, wow, does that come with a wheelbarrow? There's 17 bottle openers on that. Well, everything's a bottle opener. Anyway, I'm a smart ass, don't worry. But having one like I've got for my wife and my daughter-in-law, having it is good, but you need to practice. You need to have somebody that will grab you that you can do really, really light pressure on. And they'll tell you, yeah, that's the right spot. No, that doesn't, I hardly feel that. And you need to get something that you don't care about. This sounds crazy, but it is actually what I used to tell people to train with. Get yourself a log a little bit big, a little bit smaller around than the biggest part of a grown man's arm, and wrap a towel around it and zip tie the towel to it. That way you'll have the soft part that you're pushing into, and you will feel the hard part underneath. And then do the pressure, do the ice picking, do the rotation. Learn those, practice them, because if you don't know how to use something, it's no good to you. But like I said before, no one should ever be victimized purely for the lack of preparation. So I'm going to wrap this up because I don't have anything else planned to say, and there's no need to sit here and ramble. I can ramble. I'm good at that.
Have fun outdoors?
Yeah. Get outside, have fun. Today is an amazing day. It stopped raining. It's going to rain tomorrow. It's actually going to rain tonight. But right this minute, it's not raining. And so if everything looks really wet, it's because it was raining like up until 5 hours ago. Where we live, rain is a daily thing. I know other places they got snow or whatever. We get rain, and so it stopped raining this morning, and we said, it's not raining. Go make a video. Have a good day. Get outside. Enjoy yourself. Enjoy nature, and be safe.